All right, you guys, we are in chapter 10 of Esther today. We're finishing up the last of this book. Let's go through this super quick and then we'll chat for a minute. All right, so chapter 10. King Xerxes imposed tribute throughout the empire to its distant shores, and all of his acts of power and might, together with the full amount of the greatness of Mordecai, whom the king had promoted. Are they not written in the book of the Annals to the kings of Media and Persia? Mordecai the Jew was second in rank to the king Xerxes, prominent among the Jews, and held high in esteem by his many fellow Jews, because he worked for the good of his people and spoke up for the welfare of all the Jews. So, new taxes imposed on the kingdom might seem like a bad thing, but it actually shows unity and prosperity across the kingdom. So much like the taxes that Joseph used in Egypt to prepare for the hardship that we see in Genesis 41, we see that this is an empire of unity now. And part of that is because all of the people who wanted to kill the Jews are now dead, but also that the Jewish people make up a big piece of this kingdom and that they were able to be unified under Mordecai's authority. The Jewish leaders now have power and authority in this land through Mordecai, and Mordecai and Esther are respected and loved not just by the Jewish people, but by the pagan king as well. And that really helps to unify the Persian Empire, and it ends with a pretty happy ending here for the Jewish people. So this book is so unique, you guys, because God is never mentioned in any of this. But as we've looked at throughout all of these videos, God's hand is really obvious throughout the entire story. So many coincidences happen, so many events have to unfold with perfect timing, and anytime you see any kind of coincidences or good timing in the Bible, you can go ahead and just assume that that's God's hand at work. So let's make a few notes and then we'll wrap up this series. So one reason that I love the book of Esther so much is because through the book of Esther, we can see that even when we don't see God's hand in our life, even when, we don't hear from him, like if we just kind of feel like we're walking alone, or we just feel like we aren't as spiritual as we should be, maybe you haven't prayed in a long time, maybe you haven't read your Bible in a long time, the book of Esther is a beautiful look at God's hand quietly in the background. And it's such an important thing to remember in our day-to-day lives. So much of the Bible can just feel really foreign or really long ago, or even just displaced from our modern world. And when you look at books like the book of Esther, it's just such a beautiful reminder that God is always with us. The same God that freed the Jews from their enemies in the book of Esther, that's the same God that you're praying to right now. That's the same God that cares about what your day looks like, that cares about your health and your family and whatever issues you're facing in your life. And there's something so, first of all, humbling about that, to know that a God with so much power and authority is in your life now. But also, it's such a good comfort to know that God takes care of his people, that God will defeat our enemies for us, and all we have to do is follow him and listen for his voice. Because even when his name is not said throughout this entire book, no one prays to him, no one is honoring him in some amazing, incredible way. There's no specific formula for just getting God to do what you want. This is such a beautiful reminder that God works for our good always. Whether we are seeing that or not, he's always in the background working for our benefit. So you guys, that wraps up the Esther series. Thank you so much for working through this with me. If you made it through all of them, that was a lot, so thank you. The next series is going to be through the book of James, and I'm super excited. James is one of my favorite books in the Bible. It will be out in a week. And if you guys have any suggestions for what books you would like to see for the rest of this year, really, let me know in an email, or you can leave a comment on the blog post linked down below. Again, I'll have all the links. Every note from the entire series will be in here, so let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video.